Hey guys, my name is Torin and we're back with another fishing video. Today we're going to talk about how to be more consistent on the Bow River and catch more fish. Oh yeah baby, check out that Bow River rocket. Oh yeah, little caddis nymph. Sweet. Before we continue, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, guys. This really helps the YouTube algorithm and makes my channel get pushed to a lot more people so I can share these awesome tips with you guys. It took me years to figure out how to fish the Bow River as it's a fickle bitch. It's a very hard river to fish and it can get very frustrating when you continue to go out and try different things and you're still not catching any fish. So let's get into a few tips I can give you guys to share from my experience and how you guys can catch more fish and especially bigger fish on the Bow River. If you want to be consistent in catching fish on the Bow River, always start nymphing. Nymphing is the easiest way to catch the most amount of fish possible while you're out fishing. Dry fly fishing is very hard on the bow and I wouldn't step into it unless you see rising fish. Streamer fishing can be really fun on the Bow River as well, but unless you have some sort of boat to take you down, you have to cover a lot of ground, which means you have to walk a large distance on the Bow River, which can be daunting. So start with nymphing. The second tip with nymphing that I'm going to give you is that it must be on the bottom of the river. The fish aren't in the middle column when you're nymphing, and so your bead head nymphs need to be on the bottom. They need to be ticking off the bottom, and that's going to lead to the most consistent fish. Another huge tip I can give you guys, and I know I might get some haters for this, but put on a wire worm. Wire worms are the most consistent in bringing in fish for myself over the last years, and it got me to figure out how to read the river and how to read the features. Put on a couple red wire worms and make sure those are ticking off the bottom. Even add a split shot if you need to get that to the bottom. Depending on what features you're fishing, you're going to want to have at least a 9-foot leader, maybe even a 12-foot leader, so you can get those nymphs all the way to the bottom. Always remember when you're nymphing that the nymphs must be upstream of your indicator. If at any point the nymphs are not, the line is not taut, the fish, even if they bite, you will never feel it or see it in that indicator. So make sure the line is always tight underwater, as well as the nymphs are way upstream of your indicator. Another tip is don't be fishing the middle of the Bow River. Take the first 12 feet off the bank and just focus on that little strip. You're gonna be looking for features and inseams where fast water hits slow water. And remember, a huge tip is foam is home. Wherever you see the foam path, that's where you need to be putting your nymphs. In terms of your actual setup, a 5-6 weight rod and reel combo will probably be your best bet, as well as using a 3x, maybe a 2x leader, as well as 3x or 2x tippet. If you do hook into these large fish, you want to make sure that you have the strong enough line that you can fight them even through all the weeds or branches that they might take you through. Fishing the Bow River is like none other. The fish just get so big and they fight so hard, it's hard to go back to any other small stream after catching a couple rockets on the Bow. The reason the fish are so big on the Bow is because Calgary's water filtration system basically gets put back into the river. So even though they say our sewage is 99.9% clean before it goes back in the river, this leads to the more plant life, which equals more bugs, which ultimately equals bigger fish. Another tip I have for you guys is, although the most consistent way to bring in fish is throwing on a red wire worm and maybe a pheasant tail nymph, go down to the river each time you go and start uncovering rocks. This is my first thing I do before I even rig up my rod. I uncover rocks and I see what kind of bugs are around. By seeing what kind of bugs, you're gonna wanna match more closely to the size of the bug than the color. The color comes next, but make sure the bugs are the same size. The fish can be very particular in what they're eating, and so you want them to have something very similar to what you're seeing on the side of the river. The last tip I have for you guys is that there's a bunch of fly shops around Calgary that put out weekly river reports that you can check what kind of bugs are hatching, as well as what kind of flies you can pick up right at that shop and bring out to the river. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope this leads to more fish in your guys' net. I'm really excited for you because the Bow is one of my favorite rivers to catch fish on, as well as the size of fish are like no other. So like the video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.